you can probably, if given to the right person, conduct open heart surgery in the field with this. This is way overkill, but it has everything you need. The MyMedic, this isn't even their most comprehensive kit. Starting with the bag, one thing I like about this, we did a video on MOLLE panels, and MyMedic has made it really useful for you to attach their kits to a panel with this Velcro backing. You just attach this to your MOLLE panel, and the kit itself can just be quickly torn off. So a lot of times I'll mount this to my inner MOLLE panel right next to the back door. So all I have to do is open the door, grab the handle of this, and off I go if there's an emergency situation. In terms of the contents of the kit itself, buckle up, kids, because there's a lot in this. The last time I used this was during a winter camping trip with my family, so I have a lot of hot hands in there. Something great to have either for just general comfort for children or to help in hypothermic situations. I've added a little pin light, this one by Streamlined. These are great to use. I generally carry one in my pocket. Apparently this one needs new batteries, but they're very bright. The battery lasts a long time. They're LED lights. You're gonna find a lot of different types of bandages and gauze. Your training is gonna tell you what's right for which situation. We're just looking for different types of bandages for different size and different complexities of injuries. Training is the important key to know which resource to deploy for which type of injury. We have our Mylar survival blanket. Again, with MyMedic, we're talking about really good quality name brands that you'd recognize in this kit. This one comes with a thermometer for body temperature, either orally or the other way. A pupil gauge, this is very useful. Asymmetric pupil dilation is something very common in head injuries, concussions, things like that. And in the dark, this is something that you can use to gauge what the pupil should look like with a chart on the side that will show you what size your pupil is in any given condition, along with instructions for both. Moving on, Adventure Medical Kits makes a great little kit that comes with just basic medications that you need. This one has electrolyte tabs, anti-diarrheal pills, antihistamines for allergies, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, and an antacid. So getting 2 or 3 of these to carry around, they're cheap, they're light, and you can have all sorts of medications for any number of issues that pop up, from emergencies to inconveniences. Shears, they're in each one of my kits. Again, 1001 uses. Multiple single-use sterile saline solution washes, either for eyes or for wounds. More gauze, lots more gauze. Multiple pairs of vinyl or latex gloves. I've got some emergency in there for vitamin C, just for general wellness. If you have somebody that's been sick or something like that, extra vitamins and zinc, things like that, that'll help them, get through it quickly, are good to have. And then same Adventure Medical Kits component, but this one is for creams, topical creams and things like that. Hydrocortisone, oral pain relief, and then also, of course, your alcohol prep pads and things like that. Also, a couple little tubes of Vaseline to use for skin irritations, lips, sunburns, things like that. One thing that I like to carry in all of my kits is either a single needle or an assortment of needles. Can be used in any sorts of situations, from splinter removal to suturing if you had to, anything you need to poke a hole in. A lot of uses for something that's you can sterilize it easily with fire or boiling water, and you can use it for any number of things in a first aid kit. So very thing to have and to keep. There's a packet you can buy on Amazon. They're called Sailmaker's needles. They come in about a variety of 10 different size needles, from very small to very large. And I found those are good if you need to repair canvas or tent or the human body or anything. That variety of needles is good to have around. Tweezers, don't go anywhere without them. This one has a small safety whistle if you need to signal. If you're in dense woods or something like that, you hear rescue close, or you need to get attention from another person. This is very loud and just a very useful thing to have in any emergency kit. Oh, this is just like a finger splint. So if you have a broken finger, jammed finger, or something like that, and you need to put some stability on it, you can wrap this thing around it and then put bandage or gauze to keep it steady, and you'll have something to kind of hold your finger in place if you've had an injury but still need to get yourself out or get somebody else out. Going through here, we have our steri strips. Again, a useful alternative if you don't know how to suture or don't have sutures. These are for open cuts, butterfly bandages, steri strips, whatever you want to call them. They're good for holding closed large cuts and avulsions and things like that. A couple different packages of those. These did not come with the kit. I added these later. Just 3M steri strips. You can get them on Amazon, Walgreens, anywhere where you can buy medical supplies. I have this Celox clotting sponge. Again, don't use this unless you don't have a tourniquet available, or a tourniquet isn't working for the condition that you're trying to stop the bleeding for. They make things difficult in the emergency room for the emergency room personnel, so just keep that in mind. Life-saving is first and foremost, so if it's what you have, by all means use it. Don't hesitate to use it. Just be familiar with it before you do. The other thing I like about My Medic is a lot of their stuff comes in these small divider bags, which kind of make things easier to use. Think you'll have a bag for wound closure, you'll have a bag for burns, you'll have a bag for other things. After many uses of this kit, I've kind of undone all of that because I like to arrange things in a way that makes sense to me, and it's not necessarily the way the bag comes. But again, do what works for you. In the bandage bag here, I put a couple little things of skin glue. I also used to carry just super glue because it has a medical and a non-medical use for wound closure, small wound closure, something to cover stings, anything like that you don't want to get further contaminated or irritated. Some kind of glue is good to have, super glue or skin glue. Again, super glue is not technically made for medical use, so there is some chemical exposure that can occur. Moleskin. This is just a little refill kit that came from Rescue Essentials. Cost a couple bucks. Great to have. Where you get your moleskin and what size it's in doesn't matter. You can buy them in larger tubes, or you can buy these small single servings. The more you buy, the cheaper it is, and you can always cut up what you need and insert it into your first aid kit. Then just more various sizes of gauze to use. Rolled gauze that's useful for other applications. And then finally, this is sort of my everything else pouch. Spare batteries I carry for my flashlight and anything else that I need. This is sting relief, so if you have a bee sting or something like that. More medications, this one just name brand pain relief stuff, Advil, Aleve, Tylenol. If you need a little more horsepower for a particular injury or illness or something like that, this is kind of the bag that I go to. Refer back to our water purification video. Sometimes when things go awry with that process, some Pepto-Bismol or Cipro or some other kind of medication to carry with you if you do end up with contaminated water is going to make you a lot happier. Benadryl for allergies, bee stings, something like that, does make you sleepy, but it's great for reducing swelling. And then just a lot of Advil, particularly for hiking, soreness, hiking injuries, things like that. CPR shield for mouth-to-mouth breathing. When I was a police officer, I once had to do CPR on a gentleman who didn't end up surviving, but it turned out that he had also had tuberculosis, so I had to go through the protocol testing for tuberculosis for several months after that. Not a very pleasant thing. Try to avoid giving mouth-to-mouth rescue breaths without one of these. We don't like to have cross-contamination. We don't want to make a sick person sick with our germs and vice versa, just like we don't want to cross-contaminate dirty water with clean water, other things like that. Keep things like that separate and practice them before we go out on the trail so that we don't make a mistake out of efficiency that ends up costing us later. Got a big triangular bandage here, again, tourniquet, sling, whatever, multiple uses with the safety pins included. And I think that's about it for that one. Thanks for watching.